Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of the Art of Trying podcast. How are you going, Mum?
I'm very well.
You're very well.
Well, yes.
There you go.
I'm doing all right today.
That's good.
Yes.
It's good for, you've got a busy weekend ahead. So,
I've got a very busy weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, full on weekend. So
are you all organised?
No.
Okay.
I'll be doing that after this.
Okay.
But it's all good. I'll get there. I will be professional and organised tomorrow.
It's good to be busy.
It is.
It's good to be busy.
It is, yes,
Fantastic.
which we were earlier.
We certainly were. We certainly were.
Very busy.
Very busy. This week we have our special guest, Curtis Reader of Creed Media. Mum, I will say it's refreshing, absolutely refreshing, that the technical difficulties were not my fault this week.
No, they weren't. No. Yours don't normally take that long either.
But instead, with the fault of our guest.
Who is the videographer.
Yes. Couldn't get his video to work, but that's fine. We figured it
good.
out. We fixed it.
Well, he did.
Well, he did. We just sort of waited for it.
We waited and waited.
If I know Curtis, he'll appreciate this little joke. That
Yes,
we're
he
having
probably will.
At his expense.
But you know what? It was worth the wait.
Well worth the wait. Wonderful conversation.
Yeah,
Curtis.
it was really good. And do you know what? Considering he did mention his age several times.
He did.
Only 22.
22 years old. He's got his own.
Only 22.
He's running his own business. He's got clients, constant clients. He's
Fabulous young
the way
man.
he talks. The way he talks.
Credit
is
to
just
his
so,
parents, honestly, because yes, he's very well spoken, and just switched on and knows what he wants.
Yeah.
And so fantastic.
Yeah. So
Inspiration.
without further ado, I think.
Yeah, let's go listen.
Let's jump in to our interview with Curtis Reader of Creed Media.
Enjoy.
Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, good morning, everyone. Curtis, thank you so much for joining us on the Art of Trying podcast. How are you going?
I'm well, a little bit tired due to a very, very exhausting day yesterday filming the athletics carnival.
We did see on your socials.
Yes, what I do know for a fact, though, is I believe I have won the award for fastest cameraman on the 100 meters.
You reckon?
Because, yeah, and I think I've left my thighs and calf muscles at the venue because they're not here today. A lot of running with the boys. They're fast.
Well, look, the job's intense. The job's intense. You got to earn that money. So first, Curtis, we'll start off the way we start. We've started off every single guest interview thing on this show. Give us your elevator pitch, your 1-minute bio. Who is Curtis Reader and who is Creed Media? Go.
Curtis Reader. It's Reed. Didn't you know that?
No, it's not.
Thank you.
No, it's not.
I just wanted to see the look on your face.
Shut up. Because if it was, I'd be a terrible, terrible, terrible friend because I genuinely thought your name was Reader for this entire time. So it is Reader. I know that is. I'm not a bad friend. I know what I'm doing.
If anyone was listening last week, they'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Curtis Reader. Well, 22 years of age, if that may come as a shock to some people, who knows? But lived here in Melbourne all my life, currently in North Melbourne. Proud lookalike of the Hemsworth brothers, Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans, based on the accounts of others.
I don't
do with that what you will. I collect hats. I can cook a mean beef Wellington. And I do a bit of video stuff on the side as well. So
just on the side.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just on the side, yeah. No, I run a freelance business called Creed Media, in which it's a video production entity, in which I just set out to try my best to create, to produce informative, engaging, and creative content for any and all clients, but more particularly in the last few years for school communities as well. And it's been a lot of fun. And and I just want to say thank you for inviting me on to the podcast. This is great, guys, and I think you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's an
Pleasure to have
pleasure.
you.
Absolute pleasure. That was a well done elevator pitch there.
Bio. It was good, wasn't it? I like that.
You'd sell yourself in quite a few places there.
Well, glad I ticked that box.
Collection of hats. That got me. Collection, not the Hemsworth brothers or anything like that, but the hats got me.
Oh,
Why
okay.
collection of hats?
Collection of hats. So I have a wall feature in my bedroom, and it consists of at least a good 60 plus, I should say caps, not so much hats, but, and they're not just ordinary caps. I look for very sort of abstract experimental designs, you know, and every cap has kind of a bit of a story behind it. And so if you were to name any of them, I could tell you where it's from, why I got it, and if it was from eBay or not. I just like to work. I mean, obviously I'm not representing today, but I just like to wear caps all the time, even indoors, all time. Yeah. All the time, I should say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know. How come I've never seen your hats?
I'm pretty sure
You've
you
never
have. You
been
just
in
don't
his
pay attention
bedroom.
to my head, Bradley.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Jesus. All right. Sorry. Oof. All right. Moving on. Wow.
So, looking at, I'm sorry, I've just realised.
You're still taken a bit by the hats, aren't you?
I am completely threw me. That did. No, we've got a list of questions, right? And they're obviously in order as they are every week. However, I've only written my own down.
Yeah, you haven't written mine down, have you, Mum?
Yours written down, Brad.
Luckily,
so I've
I
sort
do.
of gone, oh, holy shit, he's not going to jump in and help me out. Okay, that's cool. Not a problem.
You told me off last week for doing that.
Yeah, I know.
Right, because I was just sitting here thinking, I don't remember these episodes being this quiet.
No, that's all my fault. I was looking at your bio though on Instagram. Now you said that you, from the age of 14, you want to do video. Is it videography or videography? How do you say it?
Yeah, no.
Videography.
Videography. Damn.
Videography.
Yeah.
I thought it was
That's what I said.
videography.
Yeah. Look, to be honest, it's I identify either as videographer or video producer. Sometimes I struggle to I probably shouldn't have put it out there, but sometimes I even struggle to identify myself as a filmmaker, only just because I genuinely do not have a lot of experience in narrative filmmaking. You know, I've made a few short films here and there, but not enough to, I think, kind of earn the right to say I'm a filmmaker. You know, I've never even worked with a film camera. I've only just worked with digital. So, it's just one of those things.
But I think that's a really young age to sort of, was it from there that you knew that that's what you wanted to do? And what was it that made you say, yes, that's what I want to do at 14?
I think, to be honest, it was probably, I don't think I knew at that stage, but my dad got into the world of video production over 10 years ago now, and thus my older brother followed suit. And so I was surrounded by that technology and environment. And so it was bound to happen that I would pick it up myself. My brother and I, as kids, you know, we would fool around with the camcorder, you know, making experimental home videos that recorded to cassette tape. Yes, I'm old enough to even remember those days. And then I started to really kind of take it on board a lot more. And I started, you know, voluntarily producing videos for my primary school and then my high school. And then my high school really started to, that's what I was kind of known for in the school community. The business was previously called Creed Pictures. And so every time I walked past a classroom or out in the yard, it's like, hey, it's Creed Pictures. But they thought it was a photography business because I wanted to call it like Sony Pictures or DreamWorks Pictures. And then I just realized, you know what, this is a very small, unknown business. I'm just going to call it Creed Media. But yeah, how did I really get into it? I think it was until I started getting paid work where I realized, this is interesting. And I quite enjoy this as well because you get to create and you get to experiment with shots and pull together edits, put music to it, and get a thumbs up from the client afterwards and say that they are really happy with it. So it was gradual. There wasn't a pinpoint moment where I said, I want to do this. But now I do it full time and I love it. It's my favorite job thus far.
I've seen a lot of your work, mate, and what you produce is absolutely phenomenal. It really is. And I know I've said that to you before, but I'm going to say it again.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I've had the pleasure of working with you a couple of times for the ACC, doing some stuff. So it's great. It is what you say right there is great fun. It is great fun.
I got really lucky with them. So essentially Creed Media wouldn't exist without the ACC. So the story goes is that I'm approached by, I can't remember who it was, but I'm approached by a teacher in year 9 in the hallway of reception, and he's like, "Oh, Curtis, I've got a job for you. Have you heard of the ACC?" And I'd like, "No." So it's a program. It's called the Associated Catholic Colleges, and it's made up of 12 schools. It's sort of like the APS and the AGS, all that sort of stuff. And he says, Simmons, my high school, because my school was part of the ACC, is hosting an event over at the other campus. Would you like to film it? And I go, "Yeah, sure. What is it?" He goes, "It's the annual chess competition." Oh, look, I think I've probably got like a maths test or something I need to do. Yeah, I'm booked up. He goes, "I'll pay you." And I go, "So when is it?" And all jokes aside, though, I didn't know that teachers were allowed to do that. I still don't know if they can do that. But for a teacher to be paying a student at that age for their services, I was like, that makes me special. And I've definitely rubbed it in the faces of all my classmates. So I went along, filmed it, was bored to death out of it. But in the process, I met the executive officer named Paddy, and we shook hands, had a conversation. He gave me his card. That was also the first time I was given a business card. And 2 weeks later, he emails me saying, "Would you like to come along and film the ACC cross country?" A big shift between chess.
That's a huge shift.
Yeah.
And that was 2013. And to this day, I've worked with them ever since. They have been my number one top client. They practically set me up for life. They gave me so many opportunities to expand on my skills. And I definitely just would not be here without them. And what's great is that, yes, I'm filming all these events. There's at least 20 to 25 events that I'm filming every year, annually. And whilst I do feel like by the time I reach year 4, year 5, I'm running out of ideas. How can I make this different? But if I felt that I didn't do as good of a job at last year, I can redeem myself the following year. It's like, right, what can I do differently? How can I improve? So, and as you said, Brad, that they're just fun. And there's just so much variety, because you can film anything from a chess competition to a cross-country competition. They also do cooking. They do art and technology exhibitions. They do sport of all of the above, everything you can think of. So, it's great.
That's incredible. So you've been doing that since year 9?
I have, yeah. Wow. And I only did a couple of videos for them during high schooling, but just before I graduated in 2016, Paddy emails me early on, which is very smart, because so that he could secure me for 2017 and the following year, saying, "Hey, just before you make some big life decisions, we want to secure you for dates this, and that." Yeah. And I was booked up. Yeah.
Clever man.
It was really good. So yeah, I'm very happy.
So you specialize in school video production, right? But you're a videographer. So how important would you say it is sort of figure out what you want to do in life, figure out your career, but then also figure out a niche within that? Because it is what you do is you have a special niche, is you specialize in school production. How important would you say that is?
Well, put it this way. Say you are, like yourself, Bradley, a newly engaged couple, and you are looking for a videographer for your wedding, right? Are you going to approach the person who sometimes does a bit of food, a bit of fashion, a bit of sport, and a little bit of weddings? Or are you going to approach the person who specializes purely in wedding videography?
I would definitely pick the person that specializes in wedding videography. Although
it's a no-brainer.
Videographer because I can't afford them.
Well, that's a whole other problem in itself.
Well, it's just wedding videographers, isn't it? They just go, "Oh, I'm putting another 0 on that."
Yeah, put a wedding in front of it, and there you go.
That's the thing, though. And to any listeners listening or viewers watching, don't hire me for weddings. I will not do it. I will only put 2 zeros on the end of that, and maybe another 4 more, so that I just don't have to do it. So I can't stand them. But essentially, I suppose you could say that's the same path that I want to take with schools. I suppose you could say I'm on a journey to stop being a jack of all trades. Yeah. When I started out, and this is often encouraged actually when you start out as a freelancer, is, eat up as much work as you can get.
Mm.
But while you're doing that, figure out what it is that you enjoy. What do you like shooting? What do you not like shooting? Because I suppose if you do all this stuff, you will eventually realize that you don't have an identity. And if you don't have a brand identity, you don't necessarily have marketability. So
Yes.
it's better to be, I heard this somewhere, I can't remember from where, but it's better to essentially be an expert at some things, a couple of things, than to be subpar or mediocre at everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So now with schools, well, first and foremost, that wasn't the original plan. That's just how things evolved over time. So as I worked for the ACC, because it's made up of 12 schools, all these schools are seeing these videos that I produce for them. And so naturally they want work as well. So currently I work for 6 of those schools. The way I look at it is 6 down, 6 to go.
Yeah, halfway there.
Yeah, I'm halfway there. And then I really started, it's probably not until 2018 that I really started to thoroughly enjoy working with staff and students in particular to pass on knowledge to them, because students, I've now arrived at a place where students are recognizing myself and I recognizing them. Just at the carnival yesterday, I'm shaking hands with like 4 or 5 guys that I've worked with over time. And but also, I kind of, at the risk of sounding a bit egotistical, but I kind of want to be the first videographer known for working for school communities, because I've done lots of research and I've not found one. You know, you hear of wedding videographers who only specialize in weddings, or fashion videographers who only specialize in fashion. You don't hear of school videographers.
You don't? No.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a goal, but then again, I don't necessarily like long-term goals, because then there's a pressure to achieve it. So I kind of like this mystery, the unknown. But I really like where I am. And look, in terms of finding something that you're good at, absolutely, that's hugely important, and get good at it. You know, that's all I can say is just be really good at what you do. And have the self-respect to acknowledge that you are good at what you do. You know, like not in a bragging tone. Say, yes, I know for a fact that I am good at my job. Not, oh, look at me, I am. Like,
it comes back to that. We've spoken about it before, haven't we, Mum? It's like, know what you can do and know your worth in that.
Yeah, knowing your self-worth.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And look, to quote a friend of mine, do shit for free to begin with.
That was me.
But then realize your worth.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So you went to uni with Brad, didn't you? Is that how you guys met?
Yes, how we met.
We did.
Yeah, so you studied film, is that correct, at uni? Yeah. So has that helped you at all? Do you think, and has it helped and supported in what you're doing now, or do you think that it hasn't had much? Did it not have much of an impact? Because obviously you grew up around film with your family. So do you think uni supported you through that, or not as much as you would have hoped?
I would say subconsciously it has made an impact. I think if I was to go back and look at footage that I've shot prior and after going to uni, I could notice a difference in some of the decisions I've made, and also some of the decisions I've made in practical lighting. I didn't like lighting while we were at uni, but now I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun and it's very creative. I'm still learning about it. I think you go to uni to understand both the basics and, you know, good structural storytelling, essentially, and working with actors and how to make something decent. So yes, during that time I made a few short films, not that many, but enough to at least have a good understanding of the process now. I would, and to be honest, I think the thing that I gained most from it was connection and collaboration. You meet people, and like, you know, we wouldn't be sitting here, Bradley, if we hadn't gone to uni together. So, and nor would we have worked on a number of the projects that we have. So connection is super important, and collaboration. In fact, in 2018, my mum and I have a bit of a tradition, which is pick a word for the year. That's your word for the year. And my word in 2018 was collaboration. and very much achieved that with a couple of the short films that we made. And you just realize that you can't run solo when you make a short film.
You certainly cannot.
So, but look, definitely uni made a major impact, because before I joined, yes, I had experience in it, but more in the technical aspects of it and corporate video production. But yeah, now I just thoroughly enjoy it, and I have a strengthened film mind now, which is great.
Nice. So what advice would you, as let's say you're a seasoned videographer now, what advice would you give to someone who was wanting to begin a career in that field, whether it's videography or even photography as well, because they're similar sort of things?
Yeah. Save up, buy a camera, get out there, start shooting. Honestly, because you can read about this stuff as much as you want. You can sit in the classroom and learn about this as much as you want. But you're not going to do it unless you actually get out there, gain some experience.
Get out there.
Absolutely.
And do it.
Yeah. And look, I'd also say that don't cut your conscience to fit the fashion of today. Really do what you want to do. Don't do what the latest trend is. Otherwise you'll restrict yourself. We want to see what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
So I just think that's really important. I don't know. Like sometimes I feel a bit iffy, giving advice, because I'm only 22 years of age, and for me, like, life is still getting started.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, well, I have so much advice I can pass down on to you. So yeah, I try to keep it, limited, but look, it's great to be able to pass on knowledge and to, and to see the reactions of people who are genuinely interested in it. In fact, like just yesterday, I invited a kid to come along and help me out at the carnival. This kid I met, I'm going to shout out James, great work, mate. I met at Over Newton College on a job a couple of months ago. He saw me, saw my gear. He came over, had a chat, was really curious about it. And he said, I'm always looking for experience. And I just went, come along to the carnival. And he did.
Wonderful.
And he was great. So
fantastic.
I think, actively seek connections. So a bit of advice. I mean, look, there's so much more I could share, but like I said, I'll just keep it limited.
Well, that was wonderful. Quickly, before we finish, Curtis, what have you been watching recently? What's really got you?
So I've joined Stan recently, and I'm watching a show called 4 eps into Your Honor.
Oh yes, Bryan Cranston. I'm yet to see it, but I've heard so many good things about it.
Yeah, it's
write that one down.
A great setup. First episode is perfection. I think I do believe, though, it's one of those stories that could be told in 5 episodes, not 10. It's just a little slow.
Needed to be a limited series, yeah.
Yeah, but great performances.
Bryan Cranston, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I just think it's great. What else about? I haven't been watching, but I've been listening recently to the soundtrack from the movie Gladiator. I am just in love.
You got Brad right there.
Hans Zimmer at his best.
I saw that man live 1 or 2 years ago, and when he played those tracks, a tear nearly shed.
Yeah, I bet it did. Oh, so good.
It is so good.
So good.
I love that.
Wonderful.
Have you been watching anything recently?
I mean, the one thing I've been watching, I spoke about it with Ainsley the other week, WandaVision on Disney Plus.
Oh, yes.
Disney Plus have just released, they've just teamed up with Star, which I believe is an American networking company. And they've just put so many films on Disney Plus now that aren't just Disney films. So they're becoming, like, I reckon they'll be the next big one, the next big streaming service, like almost as big as Netflix, I reckon. Because, well, like I said, they've got the money to throw at it, don't they?
They certainly do. I'm yet to join Disney Plus, but I hear a mixture of things about WandaVision, how it's both good and just surprising, apparently. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of surprises in there. So
certainly is. I'm very excited for the next episode. Very excited, which is this weekend, I believe. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah.
Very good.
Mum, what have you been watching?
What have I just watched? I have just watched a very good British drama actually called The Bay.
Oh,
The
yes. Don't spoil
second
it.
season of The Bay. I
No
won't spoil it
No spoilies.
because I know you haven't seen the end yet.
I haven't.
No, that's
a very
I
good
do
show.
like a good British drama.
British do the dramas the best.
They do.
They really do.
Oh, and the
Yeah,
other
they
thing
do
I've
it
been
well.
watching is, and I know you don't like these sorts of programs, Brad, particularly,
Oh, get out
but
of
I've
my
been
face,
watching
Lord.
The Amazing Race.
Yeah, here we go.
And I've actually really enjoyed this one, and it's all in Australia, which is really good. But yeah, it's more
Here's the
about
start
where
line.
they.
Here's the finish. Contrived, and
Yeah, I know.
got yourself
Sorry.
a television program.
I've said it so
Yeah.
many times, Mum.
Yeah,
Australia has
know.
so much to give in terms of
they
television.
do. I know,
and
but
yet
they don't.
The networks
Yeah.
just invest in this shitty reality TV nonsense that
It's one of the better
but
ones,
everybody is
though.
involved in it and everybody wants it, which is why they do it, obviously. But anyway, yeah, I'm not getting
Such
into that
controversy. Sorry.
Oh, you've struck a
Anyway,
nerve there, Lisa.
Yeah, I know. The Bay was really good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it is good. All right, wonderful. Well, Curtis, thank you so much for coming on to the
Thank you,
show.
Curtis.
We really appreciate it. Just take a minute, plug your socials. Go. Tell us where we can find you.
At Creed Media, Instagram, Facebook, not Twitter. I don't subscribe to that. And Brad, I heard you talking about, wanting to join. Don't do it. Like, there's people on Twitter following car parks. Like, I just don't understand. It's just. There's a bloke on Twitter pretending to be Big Ben, and every hour he writes bong.
But you're talking about him.
That is true, actually.
He's got himself out there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so at Creed Media, Facebook, and website is www.creedmedia.com.au. And I'm here anytime, guys. So, and thank you for inviting me on. It's a pleasure. Brad, it's great to see you again. And
You too, mate.
yeah, let's catch up soon, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Wonderful.
Thank you, Curtis.
Right.
Thank you very much, Curtis.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one.
See ya.
Well, there you go. Interview done.
It was good, wasn't it?
Interview. I keep calling these things interview. Is it an interview or is it more of a conversation? I don't know.
Well, it's a conversation, I guess,
do-
because we do. But then we do ask questions, so
We do.
it does become.
So we'll keep calling it an interview.
It seems a bit professional to call it an interview, though.
I've been calling them in conversation.
In conversation.
Yeah, it's a conversation. In the titles.
Yeah.
Are you paying attention to the titles that I've been naming up?
Yeah.
Mum,
Yeah.
do you listen?
I haven't listened back to the last one. That's all. That's the only one that I haven't. I've been really busy
Sure.
this week.
Sure,
I've been
sure.
very, very
Sure,
busy.
sure.
But
I do. I call them in conversation. That's the name of the
conversation.
thing, and then in conversation with. For instance, this one will be.
Is that an
in
official
conversation
thing, or
with-
is that a Brad made up thing?
I've seen it quite a few times
Yeah.
in other places.
I guess that's about right, because it is just
Yeah.
us having a conversation with someone.
Yeah,
It's not.
but it was a great conversation, eh?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful. Absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful. Curtis, thank you so much
He's
for
a
coming on board.
lovely young man.
Oh, he's done so much. He's so... And do you know what? He spoke there about, the last thing we asked was, have you got any advice? And he was, he gave some, but then he was like, look, I'm aware that I'm 22 years old, so I am very young. And do you know what? I disagree with that. I think, do you know what? No matter what age you are, if you've got some
if you've
life
got the-
experience
yeah,
and
and
you've
you've got
got
the
something
knowledge.
that you can give to somebody, give it out there. I think we just... Society is so... sort of molded into this. You can't give advice and you can't have any without life experience. You can't be wise.
But he's obviously he's been doing what he's doing for a long time now.
For a long time.
But to hear him talk about that young lad that then came up to him and he was willing and open to give him the knowledge that he knew.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic, because there's so many people out there that are like, no, it's mine. I've learned the hard way, and you go and learn the hard way. And I think it used to be like that many years ago, where you never wanted to share your knowledge.
Yeah.
Whereas now, and I think when it comes to something that you absolutely love doing, that's all you want to do, is you just want to share it with people.
Share your knowledge.
And for him being so, as he says, so young, but also so knowledgeable, he has got knowledge that he can pass on to younger kids. And
he's taught me a lot.
And he's
taught
in
me
a
an incredible
great
amount.
situation to be able to do that, where he's working with schools and stuff. So but we need more people like that are inspirational to the younger generation coming through. So good on you, Curtis. Well done.
Curtis. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed that conversation.
in conversation.
In conversation with Curtis. Make sure, I know he plugged them at the end there, but make sure you go and follow him over at Creed Media and his personal one, Curtis Reader.
I think I figured out why it's called Creed Media.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, why, Mum?
Is it because his surname's Reader, but he's just and his Curtis?
My God. Yes, Jesus.
I got that moment in the interview. I'm glad I didn't actually put it in the interview because I suddenly sort of went, I don't know, you might see the light bulb moment. I don't know.
Creed. No,
Anyway,
go follow him over at Creed Media on Instagram and Facebook, and go check out his website as well. He's got some fantastic stuff up there. Did you know his portraits and stuff, his personal shot, they were shot by me?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they were selfies, timer on.
No,
the thing
it was me.
Oh, well, good on you.
It was me. They're great shots, aren't they, man?
Yeah, they're very good. I have seen them. I'm not just saying, I have seen them.
Okay, cool. All right, wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this episode of the Art of Trying podcast. Next week, I'm not sure if we have a guest. I think next week's just going to be me and Mum. Mm-hmm. Back to the.
Why not?
Back to the old.
We can talk about where we are in Melbourne, can't we? Because we haven't touched on
Let's do that.
Hopefully
Let's do
today.
that. Next week we won't have a guest, but I believe the weeks after that we'll have some. We'll have some set up.
Cool.
Thank you so much for joining us. Follow us on our socials at the Art of Trying podcast on Facebook, Instagram.
Not Twitter.
Not Twitter, because apparently I'm not allowed to do that or whatever. So yeah, go check us out there. I'm thinking about setting up a newsletter. I'll keep you guys involved in that. So yeah, we'll see you next week for episode 7, season 2. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Goodbye.